You look at a piece of chocolate and that thing is like, girl, you know you worked hard. You know you need that piece of chocolate. Or you look at yourself in the mirror and one of your eyebrows is messed up and you just like, ain't no use to fixing it. You ugly. That's not true, boo-boo. Don't listen to it. Because if somebody else told you that, you'd be like, girl, I'm cute. So why are you listening to that ego? Don't listen to that ego. Don't do that. Don't do that. We don't do that. Not around here in Natural Fitness. No, we do not. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Natural Fitness channel. If you are new to seeing this face, my name is Kira. Before we get into the video, please comment, and let me know what topics you guys want to talk about, what questions you may have that I can answer, and also share this video because there's somebody that probably needs to hear this, and there's somebody that needs to see this. There's somebody that has been thinking about this, and this is probably their sign that they just need to get on it. You know what I mean? So let's just all help each other. So share this video, talk about it amongst your friends, discuss it, and see how other people, see how other people's minds work, or whatever the case is, and also just build some conversation around this video, because I feel like a lot of people go through this, and this is something that I really had a big issue with. All right, so obviously by the title, we're talking about ego. And the ego, I'm not talking about pride. I'm not talking about haughtiness. I'm not talking about being pretentious or anything like that, or having like a chip on your shoulder. I'm talking about the devil on your shoulder. And the devil on that shoulder is probably the biggest reason why we start something and we can't finish it. And it's a lot of times that we call ourselves ugly, or we're fearful of something. And this part of our brain is called the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex. I'll go there. Not to get into the scientifics of it, but basically it's our survival brain, and we've had this part of our brain. It's evolution. It has evolved. That's the word. Evolved. It has evolved over millions and millions of years. So this part of our brain is not something that we can defeat. However, it is something that we can use as a tool to help us overcome some of our fears, and also help us overcome some of the things that is trying to get us to or trying to protect us from, in a sense. So it's not really something that is looked at as a negative thing, or should be looked at as a negative thing, even though it can be considered negative. It is also a positive thing as well. So if you look at it, in a sense, it's protecting you, but it's also keeping you away from doing the things that you really want to do and what you want to manifest for yourself. So this is really big for us all. So these are 5 tips on how to lessen the impact of your survival brain, of your ego, of that devil on your shoulder, and not just not listen to it. Just not listen to it. Now, these 5 steps aren't written in any certain order or for you to follow any certain type of order or whatever. It's just simply for you to use these steps, either all of them, some of them. The first one, you're definitely gonna have to use them. I'll just let you know. The first one is a must. All right. Whether you use one of them, it doesn't really matter. It's up to you how fast you heal and how fast you're able to get over the survival brain. I can talk to I'm blue in the face all day, but it's up to you and how you use it, and when you use it, and how often you use it, because though these steps are meant for you to practice them over and over again, so it becomes muscle memory, and you can basically just be a better version of you. So I hope that it's able to help you guys out there, and yeah, don't forget to let me know how you like it, and if it has worked for you, and if you shared it with someone else. All right, so this first tip is a must. This was a huge thing for me to break down my ego earlier this year. The first step in order to lessen this ego is to basically become conscious of it. Once I became conscious of my ego, I associated my ego as a different person. So this part of our mind, it may be a part of us, nobody else can hear it, but you're still associating it with yourself. So when you associate it with yourself, you're automatically going to believe it. But if you so associate this part of our brain or this thinking or whatever the case is with as a different person, then you're not going to listen to somebody else telling you how to live your life, right? So if you associate it as a different person, then there's not a lot of times that it can just come in and just sweep you off your feet to just mess up your day. So that's one, associate it with as a different person and become conscious of your ego. Number 2, all right, so one of the biggest challenges that we have is time, right? We always say that we don't have time for a lot of stuff, but if you don't have time for yourself in order to heal, then obviously you don't have time to be better and manifest that person that you want to be. So number 2 is a time-consuming thing, but it probably only takes 2 minutes. Could take 5 minutes, could take 10 minutes, depending on how long you want to just sit down and write some stuff down. So number 2 is write down things that your ego says to you. And these things could be exactly like I said, something like you're ugly or whatever the case is. But the point about writing this stuff down, when we just think about this stuff and we just listen to what it has to say, it goes into our feelings. And that's when we start to feel whatever this thing is trying to tell us. And then we just get on this roller coaster of this downward spiral that's just like stopping us from just being great in the day-to-day, right? And so you write down the things that this ego is telling you. It doesn't have to be, it can be at the end of the day, it can be right when it tells you, you just type it into your phone or whatever the case is. But the point that I'm trying to get across is I want you to look at what the ego is telling you and see how ridiculous it can sound, or how ridiculous it looks to see what you've been listening to on a piece of paper or what you've been listening to on your phone, because you're believing these things. And it's not cool that you're going on a day-to-day to jump on this roller coaster and go down in this downward spiral, and you have no clue why you're in a bad mood. It's because this one thought started this, and then it translated into this, and then now you're thinking about this, and then now you're thinking about this person, and now you're thinking about that, and then now you're thinking about, it's just too much. Then the anxiety comes in, then it's just too much. So that's tip number 2. So write down what the ego tells you and look at it and read it out loud and see how ridiculous it sounds. Yeah. Number 3, tip number 3. So this has to be probably like my favorite, because I'm a very spontaneous person and I like to do different things or whatever to, like, change up the routine of my day. I don't like routines at all, but I'm trying to get in the mood of being in routine. So this is huge. Break your routine. It's easy for you to think about the same things as you go about the day-to-day because you've already been on the routine. So if your body is automatically on robot mode in a way where you get up at 5, you go brush your teeth, you go take a shower, or you take a shower, then you brush your teeth, and then you get ready for work, and then you take the same route to work, and then you get to work, and then you work from this such amount of time, then you have lunch, and then you have the same thing for lunch, or whatever the case is, or you go out to lunch, and then you come back from lunch, and then it's just, you're on a routine. So the more you're on a routine, the more your mind is on autopilot, and you're allowing your thoughts to just flow. If you stop that routine and you do something outside of that routine, you stop that mind flow, and your mind has to recalculate to think about something else. So these are some things that I've done to break my routine. So I'm a right-handed person, and I started doing this thing by Albert Einstein. I was introduced to this method by Albert Einstein, where it's like as if you get the creative juices, but you get the creative juices flowing in the left hemisphere of your brain by doing something out of your routine. But I noticed that when I do something outside of my routine, I stop the thoughts that are trickling in to keep me going into anxiety or depression or whatever the case is. So I'm a right-handed person, but I started brushing my teeth with my left hand. Not only did I start brushing my teeth with my left hand, but I also started writing my notebook early in the morning with my left hand. This help my thought process go into things that I would rather think about than things, because I was consciously helping my mind. I was consciously fueling my mind to think about other things in order to not think about the negative, if that makes any sense. So also, you can break routine by taking a different route home. You can also break routine by switching it up. You know how to break your routine. You know your routine, but I can tell you, break your routine, and I guarantee you it can work wonders. Instead of listening to music in the shower, listen to meditation stuff or birds chirping or something like that, something relaxing that can get you going and get you thinking about something positive more rather than the negative, then that's all you, boo-boo. So tip number 4. So remember those steps that I told. Remember the second step I told you to write some stuff down or whatever. Tip number 4 is actually taking those things that you write down and putting that in a to-do list. So for instance, if you are to if you want to write for 30 days inside of a journal, you want to do your morning pages, which morning pages is pretty much getting all your thoughts out in the morning. You want to go 30 days, but you get to day 2 and your ego is like, girl, you're not gonna wake up early in the morning to do those morning pages tomorrow. You already did 2 days. You did good. We're not trying to beat no goals. We're not trying to reach 30 days, okay? You set that, you put on that to-do list, I am going to do this, I am going to do that, and just take it one day at a time. If you mess up, keep on going. But the biggest thing about it is, if you end up failing in this to-do list, do not judge yourself. Because if you judge yourself, you're going to stop yourself from doing something. But if you keep on going, you're pretty much training your muscles to stop this brain from taking over, right? So once you stop it from taking over, you pretty much become more in control with, first of all, what you're doing. Second of all, how you're getting things done. Third, how often you get things done. And it just makes you feel better and better to where every single day you just want to do it over and over again. It becomes muscle memory. We've practiced to listen to our ego. We're now listening to our ego has become muscle memory, but you have to break that habit in order to get into better habits to be the better you that you want to be. Ooh, we just up here rhyming, seeing stuff. Do the little Kim. Ooh. Number 5. Last but not least, and there's still a lot of tips that I can give you, but I'm only going to give you these 5. But the last 5th tip. So here's tip number 5. All right, so we have this thing called the state of being. The state of being is whatever's mood that you're in that moment, whether you feel depressed, whether you feel sad, whether you feel happy, whether you feel elated, whatever it is, on top of the world, whatever it is. Your state of being is that, your emotion, whatever you're feeling in that moment. So a lot of times when we allow the ego to snowball us into these different like moods or mindsets and stuff like that, we lose control. This is the way that you can bring it back, just in case you get down there into that ditch, or you start hurtling down into that ditch and you catch yourself consciously. This is something that you can use to overcome that. So what I do is you change your state of physiology. So you change what you're doing with your body. So if you notice that while you're thinking about this, you start slumping and you start feeling like as if your body language is just like a little off or whatever, and you start thinking about something, you can make up something that's either a clap or a move, a shake or something like that, that makes your mind go, oh shoot, okay, let's just start thinking about something else. It completely resets you. So it's a complete reboot. Girl, you sure look crazy in this camera. You sound crazy. I'm gonna be like, stop. Not that dramatic, but yeah, we did that. So that is it for the 5 tips on how to lessen your ego. I hope that helps anybody that needed it. If you needed this message, please don't hesitate to let me know. Even if I've helped you become conscious of your ego, that makes me happy, because that is like the first step into just lessening it, just helping you become the person that you want to be. So yes, check me out on Instagram at Naptural Fitness. Also check out my website at www.napturalfitness.com. Again, that's www.napturalfitness.com. I am going to put the link down in the description box so that you can see my blogs, and all of the thoughts that I have or whatever that comes to mind that I feel like as if that can help people. So with that being said, thank you for watching this video all the way through. Peace, love, and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful positive vibes. I love you guys. Bye. Sound crazy. I sound crazy. I just wanted you to know I'm crazy. All right.